question. You started this price war, and people are now asking, can you sustain it? Because there is speculation about financial difficulty, and even if you're okay, there have been these equity injections needed.
Yeah. Francis, you know, just to make it clear, I don't think we really started a price war. I think back in 2012, when Alan and I came as a new management team to the organisation, really what the essence was to really bring communications and the cost of communications down to an affordable level for all South Africans. And that's why we engaged government and the regulator, and they actually listened to us. And, you know, this is where the new MTRs came about in the asymmetry. In terms of sustainability, you know, there's been many reports. I've found reports going back to 2009 saying, you know, Cell C is not going to survive. The fact is we actually, we're still here. It's 2014. And you've seen our growth, it was phenomenal growth. You know, consumers love our product. They're supporting us. The more they support us, the more we put back in. The fact is we have a plan. You know, our shareholders love what we're putting together. You know, the people who finance us, both bankers in terms of debt and equity, agree with what we're doing, and the results are coming through. So, you know, I see a very sustainable model going forward.
But how low can you go? What if Vodacom and MTN start cutting again? And they've invested in their infrastructure. You have been trying to catch up, so surely you need some profit, some margin to invest and expand.
Sure, but it's all about critical mass and efficiencies, and I think where Cell C's position today is we're in acquisitive mode. You know, the market is mature, so we've got a very strong acquisitive direction going forward, and we're a very efficient operator, and we've done a lot in the last years to become very, very cost effective, and that program is an ongoing program, and it's a combination of really, you know, growing your revenue, making sure you've got healthy margins, and being cost effective at the same time.
Again, how low could it go? Is this a race to the bottom?
Look, I'm not going to comment.
Can you respond next time?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. You know, we've positioned ourselves that we will always look after our consumer, and we're going to actually make sure that we have a cost-effective communication model in South Africa, and that's what we're trying to do. And they reacted. So, you know, we got to look this into perspective. For 2 years, they said, the incumbent said, look, you can't drop price if the asymmetry is in place, if MTRs are lowered. And a month, literally after the court action took place, they lowered rates. So, you know, what's the question we should be asking? How low can it go? I think we should also ask them.
Are you using the savings now, given these termination rates, given that the reductions were in your favour? And does that mean that come September, everything can change and your rates can go up again?
Well, my personal view is I don't think the rates will go up. I think government regulator have realised what you know, this asymmetry and the lowering of MTR does. Certainly the two operators, the two large incumbents, have shown that as well. They said, yeah, we can also drop price. The consumer is benefiting by all this. Lower cost to communicate. So I don't believe that you know, the MTRs will change or the asymmetry change. I think, you know, personally, I think it may even improve in our favour, in the small operators' favour, to create more competitive environment.
Jose, is there any danger that you're fighting one war here when what South Africans really want, and I think it was shown by the response to Vodacom's 1 gig free data, is fast, efficient data, and that's where you're lagging, I believe.
Well, I don't, you know, I wouldn't say we're lagging in that. I think what has happened within Cell C is we have had certain serious issues on the network, which we've addressed over the last 4 or 5 months. A lot of money is being invested. This year alone, we're putting a forecast of about 2.3 billion rand into the network. And that's come about 2 things. One, the acceleration of growth that we've seen, you know, which is phenomenal for us. But 2, also in terms of we're busy remodernizing our network. So we've gone into major, you know, redeployment of transmission, our backbone, and redeployment of removing old vendors and bringing in new vendors and modernizing the network. And when you do that, you do create a little bit of instability. These projects are due to come to an end around August and September. We're seeing a lot of improvement specifically in the north of Gauteng as that project has come to its completion. And I think consumers will experience a better network. The question of high-speed data is for a different subject, and there are some plans in place in terms of what government itself and the regulator and the industry has to do to provide real high-speed data in this country at a cost-effective rate. All
right, let's just talk about coverage. You're making a call, you want good signal, no dropped calls. We asked for some Twitter responses today, and mixed. so some welcoming. Future billionaire, though, saying, I often have reception problems with Cell C and have to switch networks when Cell C signal is poor. Uri, they must first take care of the old customers like myself with regard to the bad reception. I can't wait for my contract to end. Paul Morrison, Cell C has a very good package for prepaid card users. It will be worth it when they've spent for porting my line, I think he's saying. So some good responses, but some concern around their coverage. And honestly, how do you compare right now to Vodacom, to MTN?
Look, in terms of the network, we do, as the one reader mentioned, we do have Vodacom as a backup. We have the largest operator as a backup. We roam.
But your customers won't get priority on that.
No, they do. I mean, if you want to move from one network to another, you can do that. But the fact is we actually carry 92% of our own traffic, of the traffic on our own network. And as I said earlier, consumers love what we're offering. We've seen a huge growth over the last 4 months. Again, about 3 million subscribers in the last 4 months growth, and we invest in the network. And these things take time to fix. So, I do apologise for on behalf of the clients in terms of the delays we're having. But I can assure you that we are investing a lot of money. People are working 24/7, and the improvement is getting better. If you compare us to, the question was, how do we compare to the other networks? I don't think we're far apart. I think they have their own issues, and we have ours. You're talking about highly complex networks. So maybe you drop a call on Cell C on 6th Avenue, but you'll drop the call on 9th Avenue on another network. It's not as if their networks don't drop calls and they're 100% right. We saw what happened over the weekend. So, these are complex networks, but I want to reassure the viewers and our consumers, we're not sitting back. The improvements are coming. Some areas may take a little bit longer than others. We've seen an improvement in North of Pretoria. So, we just have to move quick and give the consumers what they want, and that's our pledge.
I appreciate that. Final question, and very quickly, if you don't mind. Sure. Strategy, do you continue in Alan Knott Craig's footsteps, end what he started, and are you gearing up Cell C for a sale, as has been speculated?
Yeah, first of all, we will maintain to be the consumer champion, and we'll always bring the best affordable value to our customers. That strategy will stay in place. And in terms of sorry, I missed the second point.
There's been speculation that you're actually gearing up for a sale of Cell C.
Look, there will be consolidation in this industry, but I'm not going to comment on where we are at this stage and what discussions. I think that's really a question for the shareholders.
All right. We appreciate your time this
Thank
evening.
You,
and José dos Santos, the new CEO of Cell C.